Alright people, couple of overdue videos that I have to make, and this is the first one about the performance of the Ryuo 240, and the next one will be about the whole system overclock. So first of all, I'm mighty impressed by the power of this 240 AIO, as it can hold my 9700k overclock to 5.2 gigahertz under reasonable temperatures. So what is reasonable temperature? Let me explain. I turn the fans to the full speed and I run prime 26.6 without AVX for about half an hour. With custom presets 12 times 12, and I run FFTs in place, and I try to aim for about 92 degrees max during this load. My current load temperature is 87 degrees, but I'll get into that in the next video when I talk about the full system overclock. So in early testing stages, I was doing 92 degrees running prime with fans at full speed. So I thought, let's fool around a little bit with it and change the thermal paste on the cooler, as I still have some leftover Arctic MX-4, and by switching thermal paste I didn't see any difference in it, and the temps stayed the same. So thermal paste that they include is a decent one, and that shouldn't be a problem. There might be a valid point in trying to put on some liquid metal on it, but as I don't have one, I didn't really care to look into that solution. The second part of the test was to switch out the fans for the Noctua ones, but before that, here, have a listen how the both of the stock fans sound with when they run at the full speed. And as I have the Noctua NF-A12x25 laying around, I left the bottom fan stock and switched the top fan to the Noctua one, and the temperature actually increased by 1 degree from 92 to 93 degrees Celsius. But the stock fans spin at 2500 RPM, while the Noctua only spins at 2000, and it's by far more quiet than the stock ones. So for the next comparison, I'll run each of the fan one by one. First the stock fan at its full speed, and then the Noctua fan at the full speed. Here, have a listen. So the Noctua fans at around 2000 RPM give you the same performance as the stock ones at 2500, and they're mighty quiet. You can't even hear them running at the full speed. But it comes at a cost. Each of these Noctua fans cost what, like 25-30 pounds, and Ryuo isn't that cheap itself, like 160 for a unit, plus like 55 pounds for a couple of Noctua fans. And if you combine those two prices together, you get like well over 200 pounds, and that just isn't smart for the 240mm AIO. But I love it, and I wouldn't change it for any other AIO in the market. But that's just me. Yeah, your money, you do as you wish. And the third part of the test was to build a Frankenstein. I left one Noctua fan and one stock fan at the front, and mounted the other stock fan inside, sort of like a push-pull system. And this case isn't really meant for that. As a matter of fact, it is not meant for any kind of AIO. So the fans didn't line properly and made a terrible noise. Here, have a listen. And that didn't improve the temperature anyhow. It stayed at 92 degrees, and that's not because the fans can't cool, it's because that's the thermal limit of the 240mm radiator. So if you're wondering what can 240 AIO cool, it's this. It's 9700k at 1.325 volts. Running most stressful tests will give you 92 degrees Celsius. It's not gonna cool 9900k at 5.2, that's for sure, but you might be able to cool 5Gs of 9900k. But it basically depends how much volts does your 9900k need for it to run at 5Gs. Anyway, that was my short Ryuo 240 review. I love it, but it's far from being the best bang for the buck option. But then again, not much of my system is. I'm 905 and I'm out. I'll see you in the next one.